Hi, and welcome to Inside the Judges Stands. I'm Russell McCord, Director of Judges for the National Cutting Horse Association. Each week we're going to take an in-depth look into our 21 judging rules and credits and various issues that have to do with judging and monitoring. With the Summer Spectacular starting this weekend, I want to take this opportunity to explain to you our new review system that we'll be using during the show. This new review system will enable everyone that's watching the cutting, whether you're there in Will Rogers Coliseum or watching it live on the internet, when the scores come up, the ones that are going to be monitored and looked at, the score for the first time will have an R out beside it, meaning it's under review. Now, scores of 195 and below during our go-arounds are not reviewable. So if the score is above 195 and it has a discrepancy between a 3 or a 5-point penalty, no matter how many judges call it, 1 or 4, then it'll come up on that scoreboard with an R next to the score, indicating to everyone that this run will be monitored and reviewed at the cattle change. Each judge has a touchscreen monitor in the judges stand, so at the end of the run, they'll push in their score. For the first time, this monitor has a 3-point penalty box and a 5-point penalty box, and that's what will enable us to use this new review system. So when the buzzer goes off on a run, the judge has called a 3 or 5-point penalty, they just simply touch the 3 or the 5-point button first, and then send their score in. So at the end of the set, the computer there at the announcer stand just simply prints us out an audit trail. We walk that audit trail down to the judges' room. When the escort brings the 5 judges in, he will give us the 5 judges' scorecards, and then they go into a separate room with the escort. The monitor's room is separate, so just myself and the monitor in there, and then we go down each individual scorecard and see where the 3 and 5-point penalty discrepancies are. And we know by this new review system, they're already marked on the card, so they're easier to identify. And on this run here, let's say on Gypsy Starlight's run, we had a 68 from the first judge with a 5-point penalty, and then the second judge was a 72, the third judge was a 72, fourth judge was 68 with a 5-pointer, and then the fifth judge was a 73. And when you throw out the high and low, you got a 212. So we know that we have to review that run. So 2 judges called a change of cattle on this run. So that myself and the monitor will review that. And let's say in the first case here that we say the penalty is not there. So we would bring the first judge in by himself and ask him to review the change of cattle. He would look at it. Most of the time they look at it 2 or 3 times. And then they make their decision whether they're going to give it back or leave their score as it is. And let's say in this case here, both judges give that score back, that change of cattle. So then we would have to fill out an AMS penalty analysis sheet that goes over to the exhibit hall with the scorecards. And in this case here, if both judges gave that score back, it would be adjusted to a 218. Now, sometimes one judge will give it back, and sometimes both of them will give it back, and sometimes either one will give it back if it's real close. But let's say that only one judge gave that back, then this score would be adjusted from a 212 to a 217. Okay, so let's look at the complete opposite of that. Let's say that this horse had the score of 212 with a review, 2 judges called to change of cattle. The monitor and myself both look at it and we agree that the change of cattle is there. And let's say that the bubble was already on a 213. So this score could only go down and not up. And so in that case, we fill out a different sheet called a no action taken. And what this is telling the contestant and anyone else is that the monitors looked at it, they ruled that the change of cattle was there, and that this horse could not advance. Score was not high enough. Okay, to help you understand this a little clearer, we have 2 options down below. When we rule that the penalty is not there, more than likely that score is going to go up, we use a AMS penalty analysis sheet. When we rule the penalty is there and the score cannot advance, then we use a no action taken sheet. So hopefully that helps you understand both of those sheets. These sheets go over with a copy of the scorecards over into the exhibit hall. We don't put out any scorecards until the following day about 8 o'clock. Hope this helps you understand more about our new review system. The monitor system continuously gives back about 80% of all calls. It only takes away about 20%. That's the percentages over, the last few years. So this system here will enable everyone to be able to tell when a run is under review. And hopefully now when you go to the exhibit hall and look at your scorecards, you'll be able to determine between the AMS sheet and the no action sheet what actually occurred on your run.